Classrooms Without Borders is an opportunity to make learning really come to life through study tours to Israel and Poland. And Classrooms Without Borders is having an impact in teaching and learning.
Herr Mauer lived on one of the houses there. He was a frequent visitor to our house. He was a little bit smaller than me. Nice little boy. He loved my mother loved him. At the day of the expulsion, while I was standing there, I could see Herr Mauer, blonde hair, rolled around his finger with one thing in a thumb, looking around for his parents, and he couldn't find them.
Is I want to find stories of heroes and put my students in situations where they have to make a decision and kind of grapple with what people of the time, what they were involved in.
Usually when that transport used to arrive, and at that time I already had the job. I used to come in here, one of the very few people, and I was working, doing the roads. So I could see when the people come in here, they would select some people, and the rest of the people were just marched down towards the gas chambers and gassed and burned on a continuous basis. Sometimes trains used to arrive at a greater numbers, and it exhausted the capacities of the crematoria and the gas chambers. So they took some people into the gas chambers and the crematoria. The very young and the very old were pushed in a pit. It was constantly burning with wood, and they pushed them in there alive.
When you're actually standing in the places, the expanse and the magnitude of this killing machine was just completely silencing.
There's something that one can learn deeply that will enhance their skills as teachers, will enable them to bring the content in a fresh way, in a meaningful way to their students, and for the students it'll impact their lives.
Facing History deals with difficult issues in the classroom, including the Holocaust. When teachers experience the history by walking in the places, they transmit back to their students a profound learning experience that cannot be learned through a book.
I thought my feelings would be stronger. I thought I would cry. I thought that I'd want to stop and read everything. I found myself suffocating in those barracks. I had to leave. I couldn't stand the smell, and I couldn't stand the claustrophobia, and I'm not claustrophobic. I just didn't want to be in there. So it's not what I expected my feelings to be.
But to see a room of shoes, or to see, your own name on a, yesterday when we were in the deportation thing, I saw my name on the wall. Those are things that kind of got to me.
Teachers and people need to be here to pass it on, to make sure it's never forgotten.
To understand more about the past and begin thinking about how present and future generations can learn from the past, where different ethnic and religious groups can coexist, and where centers for study can promote tolerance and mutual respect among all groups.
That there are people saying that these things never happened. And this is the most heart-wrenching for any survivor to hear. And these are not plain ordinary people of the street, ignorant, uneducated. They're people with university degrees. And why are they doing that? What is their purpose? What is the purpose of it? And we're not going to be around forever. The age of every survivor is, I don't know what it is, I'm 82, I'm going to be 83. How long am I going to be around? And this is why I and people like me are trying to be witnesses, so to speak. Hopefully the people who will be listening, particularly the younger generation, university and high school students, will learn what took place.
The teachers need to experience and be able to bring that back. That is more powerful. When we can say to the kids, we've been there, we've done this.
I really feel that you can't understand the immensity of the Holocaust until you're there on site at some of these camps that we've read so much about.
Teachers turn classrooms into lively forums of open multicultural exchange. They present materials that help students not only understand other cultures' point of view, but also see their own culture from an outsider's perspective.
I didn't know what to expect. And then now that I've been here, any expectations I might have had have been far surpassed. The value it's really immeasurable. Getting to speak to Howard, the survivor, the other teachers here on this trip, the historian that we brought along, Avi, I've learned more than I thought was possible to learn in such a short amount of time.
I wanted to find a way to make it more real, more than just numbers and statistics and pictures and books.
As a teacher, it kind of gives me the motivation and the inspiration to, if I do see a situation that you can include either an historical or some sort of perspective to what you're doing, is that there's an importance there. And that's what I'll try to add to my classroom.
Perhaps we will see the need to go beyond brief encounters in textbooks and beyond the numbers, to teach more deeply about the diverse world we live in.
But I do know that I will take this with me to try to create some type of memorial and some type of a way of teaching the children more than just the numbers in the history book, but trying to bring to them the kind of feeling and the kind of well, it's difficult to put into words. Bring the experience to them so that they can firsthand feel what is felt here and the sadness, the immense sadness that's brought by this kind of.
I have a lot of history to share with a lot of people and a lot of lessons that I've learned. And
personal accounts by survivors of the Holocaust are powerful. They connect us, person to person, with an era in history that's difficult yet necessary to comprehend. Survivor testimony translates the countless, unimaginable victims into a single person's feelings and thoughts.
You see the difference is how it was and how it is. It's yesterday when we were at Treblinka, said we can come and we can leave. In those days you could come, but you never left. It's the same thing with this. What was going on here is unimaginable, as it was in most places like that. So it's good that people come and visit and learn.
We have a survivor who's just a wonderful, warm human being, and has been very open in sharing his experiences, which have been very difficult experiences. And that's refreshing, and he's opened everybody's hearts.
It's not possible to describe what this will mean to you, because I'm sure it means something different for everyone.
So I'm glad everybody came to join me to remember those who are buried here, dying a natural death, and what's more, who are buried here who were murdered. There are many people buried here who were just murdered in cold blood, and they have no sign that they ever existed. When I go back and think of my neighbors, my family, my neighbors, my school friends, my fellow congregants, house by house, I remember the odd person who survived, and I also try to remember all those who lived there and didn't survive. It is as though they never existed. And it's very important for people like us and the children, particularly the students, to remember them. To remember them, I can see the angels, their souls above us, blessing us for coming here, and remember them. Everybody wants to be remembered. If you forget them, it is as though you kill them again. So I'm very glad you came and joined me here.
It is important that we study the Holocaust, experience it through the eyes of a survivor, and encourage our students to study. But also as a participant, we will hear stories.
I to dziecko prowadziłem do Bochni. To one szukają 60 lat, znalazłem ją. 5 lat temu.
No i przecież dość dużo czasu upłynęło, że myśmy się w tej chwili zobaczyli, prawda?
We will meet heroes. Learn and travel with us in our classrooms without borders.